Hello Leo, welcome to Pregnancy in Preparation.
Hi Craig.
So can you tell us what you do?
I'm a sports writer, freelance sports writer.
Mm-hmm.
Spend a lot of my time with footballers, so some would say I was used to dealing with babies. But you never are, I guess.
Right, and you've got an article in 442?
I do a lot of stuff for 442, it's a big monthly football magazine.
Yep.
A number of other publications, newspapers, and I do books too,
Yep.
Football-based books. So yeah, it's going
So
well.
you've got one with Gordon Strachan?
I've done a book on Gordon Strachan, the Scottish manager, and I do a column for him. I write his column
Right, okay.
for 442 magazine.
Okay,
Monthly.
brilliant.
Yeah.
And you've got a little girl?
I've got a lovely little girl, Daisy Llewellyn Moynihan.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And how old is she now?
She is 22 months. You never think you're going to talk in months, do you, until you've had a kid? And I always used to think, what does that mean? But yeah, 22 months. She'll be 2 at the end of December, 29th.
Well, to give you some background, Leo and I are normally in a pub having a pint rather than talking about children, because a few years ago we were fatherless, and now we're sitting here with, talking
With
about
bags under
kids.
our eyes.
Exactly. So tell us a little bit about your experience as a dad. And
My experience as a dad, wow. I must admit, I love every minute of it. It's like nothing. You can't prepare yourself, and lots of my friends had kids before I had, and I must admit, when I told everyone I was pregnant, we were pregnant,
yeah.
I was going to be a dad, you do get from other men, not necessarily your closest friends, but there's a sort of, I don't know if it's just a natural thing in men to sort of go, ooh. You know what I mean? There's that, ooh.
Things are going to change.
Because you usually in the pub say, when you say to someone, I'm having a baby, that's your life over, mate. And you're like, I must admit, even then I was like, why are you saying that? And now I've had Daisy and I love every minute of it. I'm very much against that idea that people are sort of hunch and everything's a bit negative, And I've got friends who are now having babies, and I think I'm the go-to sort of positive man. I'm all like skipping and dancing about their impending doom. See, I've just done it. It's a natural thing in men.
Well, I think part of that's the banter, isn't it?
Yeah, a bit of that. Yeah, there is also
other.
exactly. Yeah, you're right. And because life does change. Don't get me wrong, life changes. But you sort of forget it's not even been 2 years, but I kind of forget what it was like before. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we also love to put the fear of God into each other,
Yeah,
just as a bit of humour.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you're going to tell these guys, what's one thing, as a suggestion for the wife who's pregnant or the partner who's pregnant, what's one thing that you could look back on and say, definitely do this or definitely don't do that, as a piece of advice for the boys?
For the boys, well, it's hard, isn't it, when because you are quite powerless. And I think if you can get on board with that and not try too hard, I mean, I have to ask my girlfriend and partner if I was any good at it, but I tried to be quite relaxed. She was very much a thinker and a planner, and I let her. I never raised my eyebrows at anything, even to what some people might regard as wacky. Yeah. And it all worked. We went to something called hypnobirthing that some people might have been quite. We had 2 weeks of classes, and we were all sitting there stroking each other. And that absolutely fine with me, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
I'd have rolled around in jelly if it was any way going to help. Do you know what I mean? There was that.
Yeah.
I guess. At the time I didn't sort of think I didn't think about it too much. I wasn't like, oh, what can I do to help? I just tried to be myself and listen and support the pregnancy.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. Whether I did a good job, I don't know. I'm sure I didn't at all times. I was probably did the.
Well, I heard a whisper from her, and she said you did a good job.
Okay,
so,
that's good. That's good. Wow.
I think you got a tick for the But the thing about dads is we always want to do stuff. And I think what you are highlighting is that you sometimes just have to listen. Yes,
definitely, because it's not like buying a car or sorting the holiday when you're like, I'll do this. Yeah. It's something that is out of your jurisdiction, really. And that's what we all feel a bit powerless, and even in the labour. Actually, we weren't allowed to call it labour. It sounds too hard. I can't remember what it was called.
It is a negative term.
Yeah, no, see, yeah.
The birth process?
Birth process, yeah. And, yes. What was the other one that we called them? Surges.
Rushes?
Yeah. It's all coming back to me, yeah.
Well, the only thing about that terminology is it starts to shut down women's physiology. So.
Oh, I learned so much about what's wrong with the way a lot of medicine looks at it. And the idea of a woman in a very brightly lit room strangers coming in and out of that room willy-nilly. You don't know who's going to be in there next. And then you think these guys are mammals, and what does a dog do? What does a cat do? It goes in the corner, goes somewhere dark, usually at night. They wants peace and quiet and does her thing, you know.
Absolutely.
And I never really thought about it before, because you don't, do you? But the idea that, you know, I mean, it's on television and films. Whenever you see a birth process, it's very much the sort of bright lights and men around, lots of men looking, you know, and it's wrong, really. Absolutely. But then again, some people, you know, want to go down that route, and that's fine too. They'd rather have a lot of doctors about, because it's long-term make them feel better, and that's fine too.
Well, I liked what you said about you just went with the flow, because people can get in a box a little bit and set some barriers for themselves, and then the wheels start to fall off if they have to move outside the box.
Yeah, I do remember when it started to happen, and we didn't quite, it was sort of late one Friday night, and she was like, I think something started.
Friday night, how disrespectful.
I know, yeah, Jonathan Ross was about to start. But we slept, I mean, I sort of slept through the night. I don't think she did, but I kind of was next to her, and I was aware something was going on. And I do remember being a bit of a rabbit in the headlights, you know, like, and I thought about that when it would happen, and then I was a bit, I think that's a natural too. I mean, oh God, now what am I meant to do again? And even the stuff we practiced with this hypnobirth thing, it all went out the window, and I could see her getting like, well, Leah, don't lose it now. But then the day happened, and it's just amazing.
Yeah,
yeah.
It is amazing, brilliant. Because you know, as guys, we want to protect our women.
Yeah, yeah.
And when we see them writhing around and stuff, we can hit the panic button.
I think you think
give her everything.
You do think about the woman much more than the baby. I mean, the baby isn't really on your mind at that point.
Well, they're not real, are they?
No,
I mean,
no.
A woman's had the kicking and the stretching, and you know, they've felt this little life inside of it. But for us, even when you feel the tummy and you feel the kick, it's still not quite. For me, it wasn't tangible.
No, definitely. I think it takes a while, even once they're born, a bit. It does hit you that you've got this thing, but even then you're sort of...
I reckon it took me 6 months. It wasn't until he started engaging with me and started to actually, you know, the little...
When they start sporting their neck and they're a bit more... You know, they're up and they're smiling at you and they recognise you.
There's no respect until you can kick a ball.
She's doing well now, actually.
Is she?
Much to her mother's disgust.
Brilliant. No, but it does take a lot longer, I think, for boys to bond. Because
I guess it would, especially, you know, breastfeeding and things. And I think you're not too worried about not bonding. I don't think I was worried that I'm not bonding, which maybe I was bonding. You are bonding, but you become the sort of keeper of the watch, don't you? You become again, hopefully the lady's okay, and you know, feeding. It's all very matter of fact. Then you just get the basics right, get the feeding going, get mum okay.
Because if mum's not okay...
I mean, I don't know about you, but that first few months just seemed... One, it was midwinter, she was born in December, so all I remember is darkness. I don't remember any daylight. I literally, when I look back, it's just darkness. Walking around a lot, 4 days, had a bit of colic, which was a bit tricky, but you get through these things. I don't look back on it like negatively. You know, I don't think, oh God, it was hell, there was no sleep. I really don't. I remember sitting up at 3 in the morning watching DVDs I hadn't watched for ages, because in fear that if I moved she'd wake up. So I'll watch this whole film. And, you know, late night films we watch a lot. So yeah, it's all fun, it's all good.
It is. It's part of a process, isn't it? And you go through it, and you get through the other side, and when you're deep in it, sometimes you think, am I going to get through this? But
and you surprise yourself, and your body surprises you. Your whole thing, I need 7 hours, 8 hours sleep a night. I was like, I just got 3 hours. Yes, power nap. Let's go again. Yeah. Coffee a bit, but it's good.
No, fantastic.